Guys, this week I'm going to do a little bit of a different style video. So, obviously, everybody knows what's going on in the world, especially if you're in the United States right now. You're really feeling it these past few days. And I know this is a serious topic, but I think it's something we really need to talk about. Because whether you like it or not, winter's coming, baby. Snowboarding season's around the corner. Skiing's around the corner. I want to bust down some gear and kind of show you guys what I'm working with and some cheap options to get you into the sport because we all know snowboarding is expensive as hell. So I'm just going to break down the gear that I have and show you what I think is great for beginners. So let's get into it. All right, so let's jump right into it. I'm going to break down the gear that I'm using this season, and I'll kind of talk about why I'm using it. If you want to check out any of this stuff, I'll put it in the description down below. I am going to put some affiliate links in there. Don't feel like you have to buy it, but if you want to, it's there. So let's break it down. So to start out, we have the bindings and the board. So for my board, I use a LibTech. LibTech still hand makes their boards to this day. It is a T-Rise Pro. I literally just got the board. I got it at the very end of last season. It was on sale. I'm pumped. I've used it like one or two times, but it was at the very, very end of spring. So all the snow was already gone. So I didn't actually get a chance to use it. So I am so pumped. I just moved to Utah from Arizona. A big reason for that was snowboarding. So man, I'm pumped. I've seen a little bit of snow come down. I'm ready for it. So I want to kind of break down in this video how I put the bindings on and the settings that I use, because you can kind of adjust your stance and do it however you want to do it. I'm going to set mine up in the perspective of a beginner, somebody who hasn't really gone, and something that's kind of going to be universal. So I'll break that down a little bit. And I have my Union bindings here. They are amazing. I mean, I'm kind of in the same situation I was with the T-Rise Pro. I haven't really used them yet, but man, I'm super excited. So these are the Union Stratas. They are blacked out. So I just pop them on. Board looks super sick. I mean, I like the color. It really pops on the T-Rise Pro. So then we'll talk about gloves. So these are some of the best gloves you will find. So in general, I love mittens. The fingered ones are great too, but I personally prefer the mitten gloves, and Kinko is the best. They're meant to be long-lasting working man leather gloves, and people have been starting to use them for snowboarding, and they've kind of been formulating them more for that stuff. But if you do get a real deal leather glove like these, you're going to want to get some Nick Wax. So this is essentially just to waterproof the gloves. If you get real leather gloves, you're going to need it. You can't really go without it. If you get a pair of Kinkos, they'll send it with a little package of Nick Wax in there, but you're going to want to get your whole entire own bottle, because that's only going to be enough for like one use. The whole bottle will last, I mean, it's lasted me one whole season. I'm still only like a quarter of the way through, so probably a few years depending on how often you're putting it on. The Kinkos are great when it's super cold, but I love these slick gloves that you can use when it's warm. When it's super cold, your hands are sweating like crazy. You don't want like huge mittens on. It's just, it gets hot out there on certain days, especially when you're riding all day. I mean, it's like you're practically working out. So I like these Neff gloves. They're super thin. They get a lot of airflow. You can obviously way more easily grab things. You have more there's more usability with these, whereas like these are just to strictly keep your hands warm. You can't really do much with the gloves on. These you can do everything you would normally do pretty much, and then they also have the little fingertip thing, so you can actually like tap your phone and use your phone. So let's talk about goggles. So I have a couple pairs here. I have the Chamonix goggles, which I just got on either the house or Amazon for like 30 bucks. And then I had these Smith goggles that I got for like 100 bucks. So the Smith goggles are great, but they are super expensive. I got them for 50% off at the end of the season last year. So that was a huge reason, that was a huge reason why I got those goggles. If they weren't 50% off, I probably wouldn't have. The Chamonix works great. Maybe in the long run I would have, but if you wait till the very end of the season, most places are going to start trying to sell last season's stuff so they can put the next season's stuff in there. So you can get super, super good deals if you just wait till the very end. That's what I did with the goggles. They also came with a clear lens too. This is super clutch. This you want to have 90% of the time. But on those days where it's super, super, super snowy, you want something clear. You don't want tinted goggles. There are going to be, especially on a snowy, blizzardy season, there's going to be so many days where it's like you can't even see 10 feet in front of you. And the clear goggles are going to help a shit ton. With the tinted goggles, if you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you before, you're not even going to be able to see 5-6 feet in front of you. So you want to have clear goggles just in case. If you're just starting out, honestly, don't worry about it. It's not a huge deal. You'll just have to be a little bit more careful. I think it's honestly a waste of money if you're just getting into it. You don't have to buy all this crazy shit. So just get the bare minimum. The Chamonix works great. They're probably like 30 or 40 bucks online, so you can't go wrong. Then I usually use like a hood with a face mask. I also like the really thin ones though. That one's kind of more of a loose fitting style. The super tight ones are great too. I honestly prefer those just because you don't want to have like a beanie under your helmet or really anything under your helmet you shouldn't have. So that's why I try and keep it as minimal as I possibly can. Talking about the helmets, I use a Giro or Gyro, whatever it is. So a huge thing I've noticed about these is you can take these little earmuffs off. So give me a second, I'll show you guys how to take them off because I hate those things. Especially if you have one headphone in your ear while you're riding, they're such a hassle. So I always take them out. I'll show you guys real quick. Okay, so it's pretty easy. I usually keep them out. I only put them in to show you guys how to do this. So all there is, the little strap, the chin strap goes through there on both sides. So you pull this thing out. And honestly, with most helmets you have, it's probably going to be pretty universal. It may be a little bit different, but it's not that hard to find a YouTube video out there, obviously. And then it's just unbuttoning. There's a couple buttons, and there's also a little snapper that goes in that. It's literally simple. It's just undoing that. The earmuffs don't really, there's something in the back. They don't really have any major benefit besides keeping you warm. It's not like they're essential to the helmet. So I just take them off. I don't like them. So it's super easy. Okay, so let's talk about the snowboarding pants / bibs or whatever you wear. I'll talk about that real quick. Then I'll run you guys through the prices on all this stuff. And then I'll throw on the bindings real quick. I have a couple different kinds of bibs that I use. So Alpine Swiss, they're great. Honestly, these are my favorite. They have airflow. So with most pants, I've noticed, especially if you're getting like the budget in, they're not going to have the little airflow pockets like you can zip down the side of your knee. And when you're riding on hot days, you get good airflow. My cheaper ones don't have that. That is a huge reason why I love the Alpine Swiss. It's so nice to have. But for the Arctics, this is the other brand that I use. With Arctics, you get them on Amazon. They're like 30 or 40 bucks. You know what you're getting when you buy them. You're getting the bare minimum that's going to last you some seasons and get you through it warm. That's all you're getting. I just prefer to use bibs. Obviously, they go over your shoulder. They zip up here. If it's hot, you can keep them unzipped. The straps will still stay up, especially if you have a jacket over top. That's my preference, but like I said, it just comes down to whatever you like. So I'll kind of go into this stuff here. My snowboard and bindings, I'm not going to leave a link for. You can find them on thehouse.com or Evo. I got my board from the actual LibTech website, but you can find them out there. They're super easy. With all this stuff, I'm going to put an Amazon shopping cart together, and I'll put a link down so you can see it. Okay, so let's start with the Nick Wax. Nick Wax was about 10 bucks on Amazon. The Kinko gloves are about 30 bucks. It's a super good deal, especially considering if you get like 686 gloves or something like that, like the actual snowboarding gloves you'll find at a snowboard shop, although you will find Kinkos there too, they're usually like 90 bucks. These are $30 gloves, and honestly, I think the leather ones are way better, so just saying. Then I have the Neff gloves. Those were about 30 bucks, 25, 30 bucks. The Chamonics or other goggles you can find. So I can't, these aren't on Amazon anymore, but I will put a link below for some other ones I use. You can find some Smith goggles or Outdoor Masters for as low as like 30 or 40 bucks. And that's what I would recommend. Then face mask, that's another 15, 20 bucks. Helmet is about 100 bucks. With the helmet, you want to get one that has MIPS. It's a technology that's pretty much becoming standard, but it's not on every helmet. So look out for it. You want to find one that has MIPS. Hope you guys can see and I'm not blocking it too much. Let me scooch this a little. Okay. Okay, so I snowboard with my right foot first, so I will go this way. So with this, with deciding which hole you're going to put it on, I would put it in the middle. If you're just starting out, like I was saying, I want this to be geared more towards somebody who's just starting out. So it's pretty universal. So I would put it around the middle. If you find out, like, you know, you're somewhere with a lot of powder or something like that and you need to lean back a lot, then you can move your front foot back or however you want to do it. I just generally don't. So for the front foot, I will do probably negative 12, 13. I mean, around the negative 15. With putting on bindings, you don't want to go super tight on one and then just go all the way around. You want to go little by little. I usually go top corner, opposite corner, next to it, opposite corner, something like that, and go little by little. So, like I said, I want this to be even, pretty versatile for anybody to use. So I'm going to do positive 15 on the back foot or around that area, like I said. So the front was negative, back is positive. So this way there's a little bit of stance, not too much, but there's a little bit of stance with the board, but it's still pretty even. I'm storing my snowboard or I'm not riding it, I like to keep them strapped. It just, to me, like it's you're less likely the strap's going to get caught this way or something odd like that. So yeah, guys, that is all I have for you today. If you are just as excited as I am for snowboarding season, it's right around the corner. Get ready, wax those boards, and let's get out there. I will see you guys next time.